Welcome. Today I'm going to show you something that every Power BI developer needs to know. How to build a chart within a chart, like Inception style, a dream within a dream. What does that mean? Let's check out this dashboard right here. At the top, KPIs, below that, filter cards, then a bar chart. Let's say we want to just hover over a month, have it show all the detail within that month per day without having to drill up or drill down. Check it out. That's what we're going to show you how to do. Another example, the same dashboard, but let's say we want to have a mini dashboard every time we hover over a section of the chart. Well, check it out. Now we have that. It's separating by certain dimensions with KPIs. I'm going to show you how to do this today. It's a skill everybody needs to have. Let's dive into Power BI Desktop. Let's go. All right, so here we are in Power BI. What we're going to do first is talk through this dashboard so you know what we're going to do. What you need to do is go into the description of this video, go to the GitHub link and download this file. It's called Next Level Tooltips. You're going to follow along with me because we'll go through these lab tabs where we'll build it out together. You'll have an example, you'll have the data, you can use everything that you see here. So what we're going to do first is let's just show what these things do. So in this example, report one, we're going to build one of these. Again, this has some awesome KPIs at the top, awesome clickable cards. There's videos for both of these, how to create them if you're interested. I'll put them in the description. Also, I'll pop up links randomly for those too. Same with the bar chart. But here's the goal. Talk about this chart within a chart. How does this shake down? All right. So we're looking at January, February, March, April, May below. Well, we want our users just to be able to hover over it and see that exact same chart for every single day without drilling up or having to click anything, just hovering. So check it out. Hover, boom. It shows up for January. It breaks down the $140,000 to show each day that that sold amount happened on. Same with the dimension. And that continues for every single month. It works with everything you filter. So if you click multiple filter tiles, again, I'll show you how to build those. Another video, you can check it out. Now, if you come to the visual, it's going to pass that data to another chart. I'm going to explain how this is working and how to set it up yourself. It's a super cool way to impress your end users with just that next level kind of design. Here's the second idea. So we have the exact same report, filtered the same way, but maybe we say, hey, we want a segment for any month. I want to know, I want to know some stats about that month as well as like a breakout by age. Well, you could just start throwing up all kinds of visuals and have people click everything. Or you could do a chart within a chart and hover over a month. Check it out. Now I'm going to see sold, returned, net sales for every single month. For whatever you hover over, it's going to split it out the same way, breaking down February. Now it's breaking it down by age. It is a very cool method to use explaining how to explode the tooltips for Power BI. So we're going to get into it. You're going to have this in a lab tab and a lab tab 2. We're going to go through the process of building the report pages, how to connect them, how they all sync up, how it all works. I'm going to show you everything. So follow along in the file. So the next step, let's just talk about the base of the data. It's important to understand the data model. This is a data model used in a lot of my tutorials. It's from Microsoft. We've built a lot of calculations in it. There's just some main dimensions. You're going to have sales. We can look at it this way. But you will have sales that have a date, as well as then a product for every sale, a store with goals and customer information. So in this case, you can think about sales happening over time as they do. We have calculations that say, was the sale returned? Was it, or was it net sales? So you can understand the profit and anything that you care about. And those are the core calculations we're going to be using. So again, the goal, we're going to create a report 1 on lab tab 1 that's going to show how to do this time series, passing that through. The same principle applies, but to expand the concept, we're going to look at report 2 and how to do it with a total mini chart in there. All right, so let's get into it. So go to the lab tab 1. We're going to start with this one. So what you need to do first is we're going to build the window for the tooltip. Essentially, if you hover over something now, you see a tooltip. It shows what's in there. Very basic, it's just showing what's there. Again, we're going to make it so you hover over it, it shows something totally different. And the good thing about this is that it's easy to do. It's easy. It just takes some design skills to show and tell the story you want to tell. You can learn from this. It can help you with your development. So how do we do it? All right. First thing you're going to do is make a new page. I'm going to move this page by the lab tab. I'm going to call this Tooltip A, just because we're going to make it unique. The first thing you do after making this page is think about, we have to set this page up as like a window. And there's a way that you can do that so you can reference it and call it from other places. And it's very simple. So what you're going to do is go to the formatting section, go to the page information, and pick the page type. It always goes to standard. We're going to change this to Tooltip. You can see it got really small. We can change the size. We can do all of that kind of stuff. We can change the settings. We'll look at some stuff for how that can work out. So in this case, for this one, report Tooltip 1, we've chose 300 by 450. So I'm just going to come back over to our Tooltip A, and let's make the canvas, the type, custom. We want to make it our own thing. And so I think I said, what, 300 by 450. Okay, so we have a window. It's pretty tiny. So what you can do, just so you can kind of see things a little bit better if you want to, is go up to view, and for the page view, say fit to page. It's going to make it look real big. So sometimes I don't like that because I want to see what it's actually going to look like. But you can always use that to zoom in if you need to. But instead go to actual size. Because you can envision this is what's going to pop up over top of Lab Tab 1 when we hover over something. So we have our tooltip. Let's just set the background and then we'll connect them. Here's what I mean by that. We're going to go to this for the canvas settings, canvas background. Let's just pick a light gray color and set the transparency to 0. So it's going to have that vibe. It's going to pop out. Again, choose what colors you like. Now, what we care about are, and don't worry about the formatting of anything yet, but just get your data on there because we're going to confirm it will interact as we expect. What I mean by that is this. So in this case, I want to put the date hierarchy, and under calculations, going to sales, we're going to want to have the net sales amount and the returned amount. And make this just a table for now. So again, we're not trying to do anything fancy. Don't worry about formatting. We just want to see it. So it's just bringing back all the raw data that's in the data model. So what happens is we've called this page Tooltip A. That's very important. So now what we're going to do is go to the Lab Tab 1, click this chart. We're going to configure this chart to say, hey, use that other page as the tooltip. To do that, we're going to go to Properties, and then Tooltips, Report Page. Look at the page. The page is set to auto. We're going to change the page in the Property section for Tooltips to instead say Tooltip A. It's that simple. And now there's so much work that happens in the background where Power BI intelligently says, we're going to take whatever filters are on your page. So if you have any filters applied, and then we're going to pass it through. Like say I pick a couple of these things and now we have January. Well, it's going to show me now. I can see the dates. Now it's showing up as those dates for those net sales values. The net sales, the returned, and the returned amount. We'll cover over this one as well. It's showing it. So that works. It's set up. Now what you can do is, in this, you can kind of get a little taste of how to do some primary formatting. So after we have this here, let's go through the process of transforming this. We're going to go to this format pane. We're going to turn this into a stacked column chart. We're going to use a lot of the new features. So this is a cool way to kind of explode the data. I'll go through it. You're going to get a lot of information real quick. We're going to take out the quarter. That doesn't matter. And now anytime you throw visuals or charts in here, there's going to be some important things to note. Firstly, don't try to make your data fit on the page. You have to think about what will be shown through the filter context of the other chart. But it is important to clear out as much stuff as you can. What I mean by that is, let's go through title. We don't need you. So much space. The legend or the y-axis, the title, take that off. Values off. Now we're going to look at the x-axis. Title, wasted space. These values, put them to 8. put them to din. I just like how din looks. It's smaller. We're making a lot of space. This legend, it's too big. You want to clear out as much junk as you possibly can. So we're going to do top center, and the text, we're going to be din 8 as well. The title, we don't care about it. Cleaned up quick. Now the columns, we're going to say net sales. We want that to be green for good, returned, red for bad. Awesome. And now this is just something I really like doing. I think everyone needs to understand this cool feature that came out a couple months ago is within you can enable ribbons. And when you turn this on, you can actually go to layout and you can set some series up between the ribbons. But even cooler is if you go to the columns and you just select all for the layout, we can actually sort this by value and explode the series, which I think just looks cool. So space between series, max that up, explode it, boom. Just gives more separation. I like to sort by value too. It kind of flips things. You can see how this thing inverts. This is really key formatting stuff, but these simple steps will help a lot. For the ribbon, let's just make it more transparent so it's not as aggressive there, kind of lighter. And finally, the data labels, turn them on, and we're going to make them small. The value, din, size 8. And let's make it white. And guess what? We can't see these things. This is practice. So when you're making this, now you can flip back and forth a lot, because I know by looking at this that I'm going to see only 1 month at a time ever. So I'll see in January, I'll see this section. February, I'll see this section. March, I'll see more. So I'm not worried about the horizontal scrolling. And I'm not worried about the data labels not being seen because I know they'll show up. Go back to the lab tab, hover over it, and okay, what do you notice? It's collapsed all the way up. So we have to fix that. So then you go back to the tooltip, come to the chart, and we can come up to here, and we'll set it to remove the year. And then also in here, and again, you can do the date formatting different ways, however you kind of like it. We'll also just exclude the month because we know what it is. We just want to max out the space again. So now we have these dates, and we'll go like this, sort axis by day. And we want to do it sort axis by day ascending. Now we've got it squared away. So if you go back to the lab tab, hover over this, boom, there's the details. All right, 3, 10, 17. We're seeing all the dates for what we care about there. So 2, 9, 16 again, June, May, March, everything's showing up as we expect to see it. It's a very cool way. And again, there's different ways. There's subtlety ways you can do it. Like in this one, it's slightly different where, you know, I did leave the month there, but it's the same kind of thing. It's just your stylistic preference, what you choose to see. But that's the key concept. So another way, and again, now you have that tooltip. It's there. You tweak it to your liking. You've set it up, but you have some fundamental formatting that just looks cool. Again, people can see how this stuff's broken down. Pick more, it shows way more data, which looks pretty sharp. So another cool way to go about thinking through this too is with report number 2, where if you hover over this, it's like a mini dashboard. So it's literally the exact same concept with just some different formatting and things applied to it. So what I mean by that is if we go back to the lab tab, doing things in a repetitive way breeds muscle memory. You can do things much faster. So follow this lab tab. It's going to help your skill sets, man. And let's knock it out. So we're going to make another page, new page. We're going to call this like we did last time. What was it? We're going to go page information, page type, tooltip. We're going to change the size of this a little bit. I think I wanted this one a little bit bigger. So again, we'll just make it whatever we feel like. We'll go on the fly. So here I want it to be a little bit larger. We will choose the canvas settings to be custom, and let's go bigger. That's too big. We'll go 350. We'll go 300 by 400. Whatever you see fit. And so maybe in this one, we want to have some KPIs and then age stuff. So what I mean by that is if we look at Lab Tab 2 and we say, okay, so in April, there was $83,000 returned. Well, how is that separated across the different age groups that are in the data set? So we could add more stuff to this, or you go inception style and put a chart within a chart, which is super cool. So again, the way you can do that, we'll get kind of fresh with this one, is we know we care about net sales, and we know we care about the returned amount. We're going to set this up like a multi-level card. We'll have some fun with it. And we care about, for customer, the age. We don't want to see that. We want to see, again, the card. So when you're looking at these different visuals and things, we can always change it up. This menu has a little bit more ordered, but if we go to this multi-tiered KPI card, let's see if we can have some fun with this. We'll just go a totally different route. So I know in this data model, there's just issues with blanks. So for this page, I'm going to have a default filter where the age is going to be everything except for blanks. And now what can be really fun and crucial is that as we format this, we're going to make the tooltip now conform to the size of this. It's a little bit of a different experiment, and we will we'll go through that together. So we're going to change the canvas of this one, and this is going on the fly right here, making something different. The other one I did, if you look at tooltip 2, was kind of black with another bar chart, but I'm going to do a KPI card because I think it can tell a cool story as well, and just to show you the idea of repetitiveness and building these things in. So we're going to go to the canvas. We want to set that canvas background. We're going to make it black. We'll go almost black. Transparency 0. If you ever notice it doesn't show up, that's why. Now this visual, size and style, the background off. We want to show things. We'll make it kind of pop out. Again, I'm not worried about the sizing yet. I will be after I set some key things. So for this, we're going to want the callout values to be DIN, and we want them to be white, and we want them to be bold. We just want these numbers popping. And now we want to have the category labels to be DIN, and let's make these 10. We'll keep these 12s, and we'll make them, we'll just make them the color, we don't want white as well. We'll go light gray. Just a slight difference, just a slight little difference. Again, you play with the color choices you like. But finally, then you can go with the cards themselves. And so let's just add some more style points on this thing. Let's say we will put a border on the left. Let's make it this color, double border style, kind of make things grab your eyes a little bit. And this accent bar looks cool. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. You know, having fun making this thing work out. And looking at it, let's figure out how to change this part of it. So that title, I want that to be bold, if anything, and maybe a little bit bigger. That's too big, 12. We'll come back to the callout values, put those back to non-bold. I think that looks pretty good. And we'll make the category labels the smallest. Make these a little bit bigger. Look at that. That's looking pretty cool. So again, I'm not worried about the values yet, but when I'm formatting this, I don't want to see that bar. And we can now change the size of this to kind of fit. So what I mean by that, and this is an experiment with the canvas settings, is this visual itself. I like it like this. This visual is 259. So let's just make the width of this whole thing 260. And look at that. And now let's change the height of it to say, it's a little too much. Let's go 280. And split the difference, a solid 270. Look at that. Okay, now that's a cool looking different vibe. So what this is saying is the net sales returned and segmented by customer ages, broken into a multi-card KPI. Very cool. We're going to call this Tooltip B. Again, this file will have all these different examples so you can check it out as well. But then the final move, let's go into this lab tab and we got to set it up. So now we're going to say this chart. Let's minimize you. Let's get some more space. We're not going to need you, Mr. Build. So now we're going to be right here. We're going to say go to the properties the tooltip. I want the page to be tooltip B. And just like that, boom. Look at that. That is cool. So now, of the 130,000 that were returned in May, well, we can see how that 130,000 is broken out by age, a span of the board. You can do it so quickly by hovering. You don't have to click multiple filters. People don't have to click stuff. Maybe people are interested in analyzing certain things in your dashboard. They just show it. It's super cool. A chart within a chart is something that everybody needs to know. This should equip you to be able to do that. I hope you enjoyed it. Please take a minute if you have and subscribe, hit like, leave me a comment. I make more stuff. Your support, I greatly appreciate it. Everyone's support, everyone's comments. There's other videos too for how to make cool KPIs like this and clickable cards like this. But y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.